You can live there in the nature revert. You can live out in nature, like Oregon, Seattle. If you're in the wooded area and you know how to build a tent, like you can live out there. So this busing homeless or people to another place so they can be that problem.
Didn't they do that on South Park?
History. I'm pretty sure South
Park.
They
did. South Park, like what Colorado shipped all its homeless to California. And that's why
I think that was,
because that actually happened. That's what they
did. Okay, so I didn't realize that was real, and they were making. I thought it was just like some silly scenario they came up with. That's crazy.
No, they always try to do a bite of reality on South Park, like when they get the whole Elian Gonzalez thing from Cuba. That was hysterical.
Yes. Now, because when you were driving today on Lakeshore Drive, thank you so much for Golden Ticket for giving me a ride and picking me up on the corner after my last John. We saw the tents, and Chicago is one of those like, well, I guess you could live in a tent year round, but it's not going to be pleasant or pretty. But like someplace like San Francisco, Los Angeles, even going up north to Eureka and Arcata, it gets cold to like 40 degrees. Like you can live in a tent in a sleeping bag that way.
I just laugh at policymakers, lawmakers, when they always try to make like laws against homeless. Like they don't have a home. You're arresting them for not having a home. Yeah. You do know how this is not going to work out well. This costs people more money. Every economic expert has said the same thing that I'm going to say. It's cheaper to just give them homes.
Yeah,
it really is the cheapest thing.
It's like $17,000 per person for because of medical costs, especially because they're just not being protected from the weather. Like literally 3 meals and a roof. And I just don't understand why that sounds crazy to people in this country. Why does that sound radical? Like we have enough spaces to put people in. I'm not saying everybody deserves a mansion, but we could cover them. Shelter, we've known shelter is one of the basic hierarchies of needs, Maslow's hierarchies. You cannot survive without shelter. We've known that since the Stone Age.
Damn it. Okay, Miss Rachel Bloomstorm, I'm going to talk to you like you're an ignorant woman.
All right.
I'm going to Chevy Chase this.
I'm going to assume you're being
it's time for
satirical.
Satirical.
I need to emphasize that as someone who had to pay over $700 in taxes on Monday because whatever my money came out to, it did not come out proper. As I pay 24 to 25% of my income to taxes, we have to recognize billionaires, millionaires. If you make $100 million, you have to pay 22% of your income, less than I have to pay. Don't you understand how those people suffer? Could you imagine your life having to live? Hold up, shut your mouth, Hoosier. Could you imagine having to live your life off of $78 million and suddenly Biden gonna come in going, oh, hey ho, you can live off $76 million. Can you imagine the portion?
That's like one less catamaran. That is like one less catamaran.
How dare you take that boat?
Yeah, and I'm talking about like a nice catamaran too. $2 million will get you like a really nice 45-foot catamaran.
And by the way,
look at Melania Trump. Don't billionaires suffer. That woman don't ever look happy.
They could just like.
And by the way, if anybody has a spare catamaran.
Yes,
I'm sure there's some homeless we could have people.
Yes, so I want to put back out into the universe about my catamaran. I am trying to live on a boat. I am very slowly trying to. I do start sailing lessons this month, and so if you happen to have a spare catamaran, or you want to donate one, I feel like as a disabled veteran, you should be able to donate to me. I'm sure it's tax deductible somehow. We can figure it out. But yeah, I would love that. And I'll travel around and I'll use whatever little money I have to help all the local municipalities I go to and do nice things. And I'll still do news and I'll still do all the things. It would just be real nice.
And she'll be very relaxed.
Yeah.
I also want to
It'll be my home.
I want to thank Thomas for his impersonation of what would happen if Dave Rubin was brutally honest.
And on to the next topic, the January 6th committee.
Ooh.
Oh, Lord.
Let's hear it.
They're interviewing Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I hope
Okay,
I
I've
hope they go after her with that video and an actual body language expert from the FBI.
Yeah.
I hope.
I hope it's filmed, and I hope they release that because that's going to be the funniest film I've
Oh,
ever seen. I feel
you
sorry
don't
for the
think it
people
won't be
interviewing
live?
it. I feel sorry for the people. No, they don't. I feel sorry for those people that have to interview her and go through the psychobabble that she is going to spew. at
Jeez,
them.
for real.
And
It's like those episodes of Cops that you see where they have to deal with a person who's just completely either whacked out on drugs or mentally
Yeah.
unstable. That it's got to be like that. That Marjorie, we're going to need you to settle down and sit down, ma'am. Ma'am, there are no space lasers in here. This is a contained room.
the space lasers.
Stop
Not
looking
Jewish
up.
space
lasers.
lasers.
You know,
I
she will
get it.
say,
Okay, so
no,
so Jesus is with you right now. Do you see him in the room?
Uh-huh.
no, I have to point out, as
Yeah,
for
yeah,
those
yeah.
space lasers, Marjorie Taylor Greene will point out that as she
Marjorie.
Marjorie Taylor Greene will point out that as she was at that getting her breakfast that morning at Dunkin' Donuts, and she asked for a bagel, she is pretty sure there was some Jewishness involved. And she has to recognize Dunkin' Donuts bagels are connect to the Jewish lasers we have in space. And just because you don't want to recognize it, you don't want to appreciate the power. Oh God!
You
Of the
swallow,
Quran.
you swallow the tracking chips that are inside the bagels, and then the Jewish face lasers.
In my
fly
defense of
next
the
door.
swallowing the tracking chips, Ms. Rachel
now the
Bloomstrom
Now the question.
showed us that like plastic is part of a McDonald's chicken McNugget, and we haven't had one since. So
Now the-
Yeah.
I just thought it gave me more fiber, but
Yeah,
now
it
it
turns
just sees
out.
grape nuts.
Yeah, it turns out they're grinding up plastic. You know, it's not surprising though, because like, what else are they going to do to recycle all this plastic? Why not feed it back to us, right? You know what I'm saying?
It's like when my dad would cook breakfast shirtless. Like sometimes deodorant was a seasoning.
And we all know deodorant has cancer in it, like, and they've known for a long time, and they don't care.
Jeff Fox.
So are they interviewing her right now, or
I think within the next couple days.
I'm
And I found this out from somebody who is a body language expert on Twitter, who does do
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I was
I'm
saying. Like,
sorry.
now? Is there
well, and you know,
is there
honestly,
going to be animal control involved in this scenario?
No.
Did they have all their shots? I'm asking really important questions here.
Thomas?
I think Rachel was next, so we'll have you.
oh, all I had was a little PSA from Dak. I was just gonna say, talking about like mental health issues in the police. I do want to mention that people with mental issues and mental health problems are 16 times more likely to be killed by the police. So, just wanted to put that out there. I don't remember what the whole context was, but PSA.
So you're saying there could be a happy ending to this scenario?
There's no cops in there. We gotta wait till the cops come to arrest her.
Only happy ending is
I just like the
Matt
fact-
Gaetz
I
is
just-
a preteen.
I just like the fact that, remember, she did call the Capitol Police on a comedian for making a joke. The same Capitol Police that she voted against
Yep.
giving awards, giving medals to. I mean,
Yeah.
January 6th. I'm like, that had to be a fun conversation.
God,
I wish,
no.
was it one of the cops? Please tell me it was one of the cops. Yeah, sure, ma'am. We're gonna take you very seriously. Yeah, just as we took you seriously when you said January 6th didn't happen. It was a hoax and all that, and voted against us getting medals. Yeah, we're gonna write you down right now. We're gonna take this. Oh, the guy on the picture box made fun of you.
Yes,
you poor
Thomas.
little soul.
Yes, Thomas.
See, y'all are on the wrong side of history now, and you don't know how Jesus walked. I have to point out that when I see police officers hit in the head with batons, I have to say good start. When I see our elected fields run like bitches, run like beaten down pussy from mobs that are going to kill them, I have to agree it's a good start. And that applies again to Ms. Marjorie Taylor Greene, that if her constituents choose to wise up, pin her to a stake, and set her on fire, she will finally have earned that term witch that she has hoped she had earned.
I mean, she
Good
did.
start.
I mean, it's only fair if you incite a mob to like burn people at the stake, that you also
But cheering
join
them on is
them.
cool.
Yeah.
Don't incite them on, but you can cheer them on. That's the Kansas City Hawthorne guy.
I also want to point out to the
Oh, yeah?
listeners that remember, she's up for her reelection. I think what 24, right?
Yes, and there's news about that.
There's
and the
discussion she
Don't
could
they
have
have-
and the
run.
person-
Isn't somebody going to run against
Oh,
her?
there is, and that was what I was getting to.
Yeah.
Please
There
go,
is
Mr.
somebody-
Hawks.
He's a war vet.
Oh,
Black war vet. Wears a cowboy hat. And-
Atlanta. You
And
can work in
if
Atlanta.
anyone knows her voting history, she lost her first election. Marjorie did, and then she took daddy's money and moved to a smaller district because she's rich.
Easier.
And her followers basically. I guess the story is, again, it's not been confirmed, but they kind of chased out her competition. So she didn't really win the election.
It was a combination of them chasing him out,
Yeah.
and then his wife wanted a divorce. So instead of staying in Atlanta, which he could have,
So again,
He
there's
moved.
50-50 on that one. But either way, she ran unopposed. That's why I laugh at anyone that says that she'll win her election again. She didn't win the first one.
Mm.
She didn't win. She got elected.
Yeah, she got
I'm very
defaulted
specific.
in.
I don't want to fall into the whole Trump thing of saying like it was stolen. No. She was elected. That's it.
I mean,
She's the only one on ticket.
she's the one who showed up.
She showed up. It's like if you run around a track, you didn't really win, but you still crossed the finish line. But here's the thing. The person running against her, he has said in his ads, and I think it's throwing shade at her by saying, I ain't going anywhere. He said flat out, I ain't going anywhere.
Mhm.
In every ad, he throws that in there to let her know that your boy, you gang on me. I ain't going anywhere. He basically is a Vietnam vet.
Ooh.
Not a Vietnam vet, but a war vet.
Iraq war?
Yeah.
well, here's
Well,
Well,
he
signed up
ain't
for
scared of
it.
I just
anything.
wanted to say real quick though, I feel like if you're going to be representing an area in the government, you have to have lived in that area for at least a year. Like you need to know the constituents, you need to know the issues. Like I hate it when people move states and go become a mayor somewhere else.
Herschel
Like you don't know
Walker.
anything.
Dr. Oz.
Are we talking about Herschel Walker or one of his personalities?
Yeah. But here's the other Marjorie Taylor Greene news.
James.
Just like Madison Cawthorn. Yeah. Just like Madison Cawthorn.
He was paralyzed, but he still got invited to the orgies. Keep going.
No.
Y'all know how he got paralyzed? The wreck was his fault.
Yeah.
And then he tried to blame it on his friend who tried to save his life.
Yeah.
How messed up is man, I love
Exactly
this.
what
Anyway,
Jesus
but
would
anyway-
do.
You know his friend is probably thinking, why did I
The
pull you out
judge-
again?
Yes, they've said that out loud.
A judge in Georgia has given the okay to start a lawsuit against her, preventing her from going on ticket because she participated in the January 6th.
Yes.
It's kind of in the Constitution,
Yes.
the national Constitution.
And bonus points to that is it's Marjorie Taylor Greene. So
Yeah.
somehow, even if there's a way for her to win that case, she'll mess it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I've been on some of these boards listening to her fans love her, and they are as devout about her as they are Trump.
Yeah.
But they're very small in between.
Yes, they're
One
growing.
can hope. One can hope.
Yeah.
But Darren, I want to move subjects along because
Sure.
I remember you were talking about something on the Saturday show, and I did not get to see it until Sunday, and my God,
We're talking about a video,
Yeah.
advertisement for Tucker Carlson.
can I just say this real quick?
That almost looked.
We
It
ain't
almost looked
censored.
like.
Keep going.
It almost looked like it was an
Uh-huh.
outtake from Spartacus.
Darren, I heard from you. I heard from everybody else, and I still thought, nah, this is made up. And I'm watching the video, which I thought was it, but I'm thinking this is like a parody, right? This is obviously a parody.
Was
right?
he doing
It's a
like
parody.
Top Gun steam room?
Oh, it's
No.
a parody, right? This is like an onion thing, right? But then I watched it even further, and I'm like, this is real? This is actually real? Like, Tucker Carlson has done his damnedest to be against the elitist stuff. And here he is it's not just a commercial. I saw part of the interview where he is talking about it. Like it's an okay thing. I'm like, this is something you used to make fun of, and you're literally talking about people getting their balls and testicles tanned to fight against lower testosterone.
See,
you know which lower testosterone is? There's like a big freak out because testosterone levels have been getting lowered in this country.
And it's about what you said earlier, plastic in the water, but they don't want to hear that. Instead, they want to go to the genius over here with no medical degree. Yes, if you just put some UV rays on your balls.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about the yoga trend where people were like sun bleaching their buttholes. And they would just go out to nature and just like butthole open, come on, sunshine, which I imagine probably felt kind of nice.
But they still got COVID.
But yeah, it's like every homoerotic image you could think
of.
Oh
yeah,
I mean, there's two buff guys wrestling shirtless in this
Rachel,
video.
have you not seen the commercial? Let me give you
we're getting a demo. Hold on, let's get that.
Here's a demo. This is literally what you see in the beginning of the trailer.
You don't have to give us a neck slip.
I'm gonna do it with clothes on.
All right.
This is the beginning of the trailer. A dude, butt ass naked.
Yeah.
Hands out like this. Only thing he has is literally a tiny little UV sun lamp.
No,
right in front of his
not
jaw.
Oh, it's like the song "Dick in the Box."
No. It's you know what that is? That's an electric car charger. That's what it is.
But but he has a UV thing
and
on
he's
his
plugging
jaw, and that's the beginning of the trailer.
He's plugging it into the electric
No,
car.
I'm being serious though. That's the beginning of the trailer.
Yeah.
Why is it always about men on the right trying to find things to put their penis in?
Now, Ms. Bloomstrom.
I'm not making up. That's the beginning of the trailer, and I'm like, I lost it right then. I'm like, this is the dumbest, funniest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And Tucker's name's attached to this.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
What were you saying?
Now,
I'm like, is he trolling people? That's all I asked. Even he did it. He had Kid Rock in an interview. Even Kid Rock was like, "Yeah, I'm out of this. I'm I'm a right wing nut job, angry grandpa, rock star. But even your sun tanning your." And Tucker Carlson laughed like he does that when he's nervous, when he realizes nobody's buying his garbage.
Oh, I thought he did it when he was like thinking the other person was so cool.
Because he did it when Kid Rock was just making fun of it. He was just like, yeah.
What were you saying, Thomas?
Well, Rachel Bloomstrom, I understand heterosexuals do make up most of the population. No offense, Jeff Fox, but I'm asking her opinion. Have you ever really cared about the tanning of the scrotum of past possible dates? Now, I myself have not. I'm not sure about Darren Marshall. Now, when I was in California, and Mikey Chip, my boyfriend of the past 10 years, and we met a friend who I'd known now for almost 20 years. I said, "Is Mikey who you thought I would end up with?" He said, "Well, I thought you would end up darker." At no point, and that's because Mikey's mixed and he's actually really light-skinned, and I can't argue with that this man had known me to date darker-skinned black men. But I've never once considered said color of testicles. Like I wanted said testicle there. I may or may not touch them. I don't know. It depends on if the 20 was good. But as a heterosexual woman, do you feel you need tan testes to help you achieve?
I'll be honest. Most of us don't even like looking at the balls. Like they're not a handsome thing. They look like turkey gobblers. Like, I don't know. I mean, tanning it, honestly, seriously, if a guy showed up with tanned turkey gobblers, I would not like that because that is too much primping into your bone. Like, why do you have time to tan your balls? Like,
you thought of this. Like, this is a process. Like,
yes.
And
you worked it out.
Tan. Why just talk about tanning the balls?
And Thomas, I'll go further. Of all the women that have been nice enough to be with me,
that's it.
Intimately.
Did they feel your smooth criminals?
Never once has one in the middle of lovemaking thought, you know what? You should get some sun down there.
Yeah.
Never once I said, wow, your balls are looking a little pale.
I will
think you
say
should
though,
get some sun.
I have noticed a pale butt. Doesn't bother me, but you know,
But
sometimes.
one thing, we're pulling balls.
Yeah.
Like, who thinks your balls are way too pale? Can you get some sun down there?
No,
And I think
I
that
would be
everybody,
concerned.
we've heard the heterosexual thing. What about from your point of view? Has that
Oh,
ever come up?
God,
Because
Ooh.
George Akai, and I want to say this, because George Akai chimed in, and he even said, that's pretty gay.
Oh,
There's
my.
been some said testy that have been like, oh, you more marble than golf ball, but I've never actually looked for said tan lines or again.
Wait,
Darren
tan
Marshall
lines?
and I, we date a little bit more melatonin than the average bloke.
But that being
But I don't know hot pink versus bleached white. I'm not sure
But
if I ever paid attention.
what kind of guy is sitting around thinking, I'm gonna tan my balls?
A Tucker Carlson fan.
Really?
I don't know.
Speaking of this topic and the topic we started off the show with, actress Jamila Jamil. You familiar with her?
I don't
She
know
was
that
on
woman.
In the Good Place, and she
I don't know
also
that
is one of the judges in the
I don't know
the-
that woman.
the voguing
What is her
competition
name?
show, Jamila Jamil. And she's also host of a game show called the
Oh, she's pretty.
Oh, she's English.
and she's
They don't know anything about
and
Thames
she's
in
also
England.
supposed to be
I've seen Love Island.
she's supposed to be in the series She-Hulk as the villain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, she's
she
gonna
was
be-
in the good. Okay, the Good Place. Yep.
Okay,
Now I
okay,
just
yeah.
placed it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anyway,
she's so
this-
Is
wonderful.
that a good place
All right.
for her to be?
Yeah.
So she's going to be Titania and
Yeah.
She-Hulk? Okay.
She tweeted out, "I am tempted to wear a mask on flights and in airports for the rest of my life. I also will never handshake again. People frequently touch their penis and balls just before. Well, she didn't say penis. Before they touch your hands. No, thank you to the penile imprint."
Yep, I agree. I have stopped shaking hands. I now do a fist bump. And I say it's because of Naruto, where in Naruto, if you've ever watched it, they pass power to each other through their fists. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Now, I have to, I'm not going to worry about it, but it did occur to me when I used to host open mics and we'd have the young male comedians looking like they just rolled out, put on sweatpants and left the house. And there was sometimes
That's
a
like
smell.
90% of the comedians. That
And
show
then
up.
Exactly.
they all tell jokes about
you
their
just,
dick.
you just described Bob King's entire wardrobe.
They tell jokes about masturbating, and then it's like I'm supposed
Yeah.
to touch your hand. I'm like, you still have the semen stain. Like, don't come near me. I don't know what this is about.
To
And-
counter.
Okay, counter.
To,
Would you lick the hand clean?
No.
Is that what
I
you-
was just going to say to counter those jokes that I got so tired of, I decided I would get up and do masturbation jokes. And they surprisingly went over really well.
Yay!
I would be like, I've been like celibate so long now. My wet dreams are literally just me masturbating, and like,
Speaking of the Tucker Carlson thing again, Noel Kasler, who used to work on The Apprentice, and
I don't
has
know that man.
he's a comedian and he used to work
I
on
wish
The
him well.
Apprentice behind the scenes. He's now really he's like spilling the tea on Trump every chance he gets.
Wow, it's been 4 years. About
Oh no,
time.
he's
I
been
mean-
doing it for a long time.
Okay.
He said, "Has anyone used Copperbone or Band de Scrolle when sack tanning yet?" Copperbone. Never.
Anyway.
Oh yeah. That's a good question. Are they spray tanning too as well? Is that the thing?
Somebody actually said that on Twitter. Are they spray tanning?
But I will say this, and we'll drop it. We'll drop it.
Alright.
If Tucker Carlson's career on Fox ever fails, I think we can all agree at least he's got a very promising future in directing gay porn.
No, he
no,
doesn't.
he doesn't.
You see the trailer?
No.
Reese is
He doesn't.
even Reese is disgusted by this.
No.
No.
As for Ms. Bloomstrom, women's masturbation is viewed very different than men's masturbation, and this is greatly shown in the YouTube video. Check it out. Todd in the Shadows, One Hit Wonder, the Divinyls, I Touched Myself. That a woman cooing to a man like, I thought about you last night and I touched myself. The man will get turned on. I don't know, whisper that in Mr. Hawk's ear. I should have not looked at him when I said that because he's like, oh, God, no.
I think I know
But
the
a
joke.
man saying that is not arousing.
Well,
Yeah, there's
the
a good
reason
reason to talk
is,
about that.
I mean, there's a simple reason, and that's because we hear every man say they masturbate about
Yeah.
every woman, and like men, like women don't openly be like, I think about you sexy like all the time. So when you like do it is a special trait. Whereas when men do it, it's like, I get it. All right. You masturbate and you think about everybody you know.
You took 30 seconds in the shower, boo. What y'all want?
Right. You put lotion on your hand and said, I know what I'm gonna do with this, and then washed it right back off, hopefully. I do remember like the first couple of times, like a guy was like, I was touching myself thinking about you, and I was just like, okay.
Why are you telling me?
It was like my real response. Like I didn't know what to say. I was like,
Okay, it's actually
Take me
told
out
me
to
that.
dinner.
Can you still get me to the destination? You
oh.
remember that?
But can you put both hands on the steering wheel right now?
Oh goodness.
You're not gonna get 5 stars. I'm just letting you know right now.
But you're getting 5 stars, babe.
He don't need no 5 stars. He just wants to get the tip.
Just the tip.
Just the tip.
No,
Anyway,
I never want just the two.
Don't force it. Just relax and let it
give-
go.
give-
Oh my God, that's what that the guy who's running. I can't remember. Darren, maybe you can help me remember the guy who was like, I told my daughters if rape is inevitable, sit back and enjoy.
Yeah,
His daughters have come out publicly and like, do not vote for our father. He's a disgusting person.
Now, is that the one that they did the commercial where the whole family came out and said, "Don't vote for this guy"?
Ooh, maybe I didn't hear about this.
I think it's a different guy.
Yeah, I mean, like he's not the first politician to say crazy stuff like that.
Which, by the way, have you not noticed that a lot of conservative Republicans, if you look at their family, a lot of them like, I ain't voting for my dad. You know that. We already know Ted Cruz is not voting. His daughter is not voting for him when she ever gets that.
Is she
age.
still in that damn house? If she did,
We know Kellyanne Conway's.
She need to pin down her daddy and shave him.
We also know Kellyanne Conway's daughter also isn't voting Republican anytime soon. So I've heard a lot of these daughters of Republicans. They're like, hey, there ain't no way in hell I'm voting for him.
Well, there was I forgot which one, but there was a member of Senate whose whole entire family came out. And said,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They
Yeah.
did a trailer.
yeah, they
I
did
mean,
a whole-
campaign
they did a
ad for the-
whole
For the
campaign ad.
they were a campaign ad for the person, his opponent.
I wanna.
I hate to break it down and be that person, but looking a lot
No,
at
you don't.
Congress, I do have to ask, like, when examining a bill, passing a bill, do they at any point say, who does this help? Who are we helping? How are we making things better for people? And the answer is
dear
no,
Thomas.
no, we're taking rights away from people. Let's hate our neighbor. Or even as something as basic as, raise, again, that 100 millionaire, that billionaire who been asked to pay more taxes. I mean, they have to live off now $70 million instead of 78.
How can they pay taxes and buy politicians? It's
And,
going to cut into
Yeah.
that. They're going to have to let their politicians do it.
and it's one of those.
And they take
let's-
a lot of money to take care of upkeep, feed.
Hey, I've got some.
we have to
local-
focus on the fact that the rich need more tax cuts, and it's okay that the roads are damaged.
I've got breaking local news, everybody.
All right,
Well,
break it,
Breaking local
boo.
news on I-80 near Joliet. A truck carrying cattle overturned, and there's cows all over the highway.
Oh, it sounds just like Texas.
Yeah. So yeah.
Bovines on
I hope they're
Broadway.
okay.
Is there an A1 truck nearby?
I hope they're okay. They're so sweet.
After I
Well,
graduated,
yeah, A1 is very sweet.
Oh, Rachel, you were talking about the homeless thing. Tennessee, the same state that brought you the marriage, the
Child marriage?
child marriage and everything.
Yeah, we
Taste
want to
better
bring
fresh.
What
yeah.
state is this?
can't
Tennessee.
claim
Tennessee.
child rape if you
We
get
just-
married.
They said they just passed legislation to make being homeless a criminal offense.
Oh yeah, I was reading.
HB 0978 would put many homeless members in the state into criminal justice system for camping,
Okay.
sleeping, or
Okay.
housing under a bridge.
So they'll
Yeah.
be in prison where
We
will
shelter
have
and
a
give them
home
food.
and be
Hold up,
fed.
hold
And
up.
I'm seeing the downside of this.
That is an issue that we have to recognize, that a lot of prisons have become private prisons.
Yep.
And our tax dollars then pay the rich to hold these people.
Yep.
So suddenly I can no longer afford, and we have to recognize, where are you in life that you can't afford food, you can't afford a dwelling, you can't afford what's going on. We're now going to say that's illegal. We arrest you, we put you into the system, we put you into a jail cell, and then we are going to charge taxpayers to pay for your upkeep that will then go into the dollars of rich people, because we privatize the prisons.
Well,
and something that's scary about the homeless, and we talked about the tents, especially places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, you are dealing with a populace that have purchased an RV, have a tent is what, $200-$300. Like these people do have a form of resources, but they're still having to live off in a certain way. If I told you, give me $800 now for a camper, we probably don't have it, but we saved up for that camper or the RV, and suddenly we're living on the streets, technically homeless. But we're now saying that's illegal, which we need to recognize a good portion of the populace can't afford the rents anymore. Reaganomics made sure that none of us are homeowners. Okay, actually, I technically have a home.
But
I was just going to say that on top of that, because of the 13th Amendment, they get these people in jail to do basically slave labor for them.
Yep.
They get paid pennies or up to $1 for whatever work they do per hour. And so they skim off the top, take like from quality food. They take that. I don't know if y'all heard this. I cannot remember his name. A black man just died in prison because they shut off his water for 7 days and he died of dehydration.
I heard about that.
Yes. And he died of dehydration. Whereas they did end up moving that shaman guy so he could get organic food in a different prison. They literally moved that guy. But, some of these people who end up on the streets, there are many stories of people who build their own homes and they come in and kick them out of their own homes because they don't meet city codes or they aren't receiving city water or whatever. And they're like, if you aren't paying into the city, you don't get to have a home.
By the way, what's the name of the guy who passed this law in Tennessee?
Let's see. I went on to another story. I forgot.
Oh, and I found it's the Phoenix Republican Congressman Paul Gosar's brother and sisters that made their sitting rivalry public. So 6 siblings against this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the fluff,
I want his name because I like the idea. Well, obviously it's a Republican.
Yeah.
Who made homelessness illegal in Tennessee, and we're going to lock them up and give them, the kind of things that Jesus would do.
Yeah.
I cannot. I mean, I
just love pointing that out. Things that
Yeah.
Jesus would have done this.
I mean, people are homeless because of the system we created. And I feel like if you go to jail for being homeless after you don't get paid enough working full time to get a place, then you should be able to sue the government for creating a circumstance that made you a criminal at all.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I would sue the government for this law.
But then they'd end up owning Tennessee at this point.
I'm all right with that.
Which again, I'm okay with that. I'm not saying it's a bad side.
I don't think they would, though. I think really the ultimate goal is, like I would want the record expunged and everything, but to roll back this law. And the other thing we need to do is, I feel like we should be able to sue our states, same thing for like childcare, because women are losing their children because they can't afford it. And if you have a system that creates the circumstance which forces you to do criminal activity just to be alive, then that system is like illegal. That cannot. How is that legally covered?
I'll simplify it because George Carlin said it best, and here's how you simply put it down. Rich people and rich corporations need poor people to keep the middle class in line. That's what it's always been. They're arresting the homeless people to do a show to let you people work in jobs. Hey, keep working in jobs and paying rent and buying that home and putting a mortgage on it. Otherwise, if you're living on the street, you see what we're doing to these homeless people? Because they will arrest these homeless people and they will do it on camera. and they're doing it to show you.
Oh yeah,
there's a
it's
job.
marketing.
Yeah, it's all marketing.
Yeah.
They need poor people. They need the homeless. They can't get rid of them. They need them to keep everybody else going to those jobs.
But I'm just ready for people to start suing the government for turning them into criminals when they otherwise wouldn't be without these laws.
Well, Reaganomics, and
Yeah,
this
so
unfortunately
anyway.
is following from Betty Ford.
Yeah.
Betty Ford, as first lady, she had an alcohol problem, and she also recognized that a lot of the state institutions weren't being run well. And I agree, people in state institutions probably shouldn't be running around naked in rooms full of feces. Something needs to be done. Well, what they did is they closed down all the state mental institutions,
Oh
did
yeah.
not replace them with anything. And so a lot of the homeless people on the street have mental issues. Then Reagan showed up in 86, 87, doing a 60 Minutes report of these people have chosen to be homeless and to
Yes.
live off of what they are, where without recognizing that a lot of the homeless have mental issues per se, don't know where they are. The systems abused them and the systems discarded them. What's happened now is that the homeless has become, people can't afford to live places. You
Yes.
have to, like, I'm very happy that Mikey, Chip, and I are together because I'm unsure I could afford the place we have by myself. Darren, you and Golden Ticket are probably in the same spot.
Yeah.
I believe, Mr. Hawks, you have a
Studio.
roommate.
No.
Not anymore, but you're in the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can host about 6 more people in that studio if you get the bunk beds.
I mean, there are homes where there's 6 to 12 people living in them, sleeping on the floor because there's no place else to go.
Well, sometimes there's no
Exactly,
place to go. It's just banks and corporations own all the property. And,
Yeah.
yada, yada, yada.
And in 2008, when the economy crashed because of those bad loans, and I openly admit that when I moved to Chicago October 1st, 2006, my place went condo October 5th. And I met with people, and they were about to sign me some mortgage payment for $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And I'm like, I have been temping for the past 8 months. How, number one, how did I get through the door? And number two, you want me to start signing these papers to give my life away? It's like, I will have to have 3 to 4 roommates to pay this mortgage. And I don't know people that well. Like, I don't want to live that life. And they're like, oh, no, it's easy. You just sign this paper. Like, no. Or banks became predatory lenders.
That's how it all started.
And then people signed up for mortgages of, I make $2,000 a month. The mortgage is $1,200 a month. I can live off the other $800. But what happens when life happens? And so life happened. People couldn't afford these mortgages. And as soon as...
Also because of a result of how they invested that money. They invested the money poorly. So, and then what they did is those people became homeless. They developed mental health issues, and then the police shot them or put them in jail for slave labor. And that's done
people
with that.
got evicted. The banks got to have the houses back, and the government bailed out the banks, which some of them went on really nice vacations and got some nice bonuses.
Yeah.
I do payroll.
Yeah, I remember when they were crying about how remember when they wanted to get those bailouts from the government. Oh yeah, we so poor. We flew into DC to talk about on our private jet. But we're poor. We need help.
Oh,
and,
Elizabeth
as
Warren.
I drive coach.
Elizabeth
as I
Warren.
drive
Oh yeah,
coach.
Elizabeth Warren.
Well, she said that will never
Oh, yeah.
happen again.
Like
No.
Elizabeth Warren actually should have been president. She's the one who went after predatory lenders. A lot of the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
I remember she got
Once-
banks that
You know
cost
what,
up like a
Monica?
couple $1 million to like people based on predatory lending practices from the banks, and that was a large chunk of money from that. It was one bank too.
The sad truth is, I know like payday loan stores, check into cash,
Oh, yeah,
things
they're
like
garbage.
that. They are predatory loan stores. Did I know Chase was? Did I know Bank of America were predatory? Did I know as soon as I walked in, they saw dollar signs on my head, and how can we get a piece of that money? And that's what happens, that the major banks became predatory loan stores, and the major banks profited from it. They got the houses back. The people who, whatever you pay, like, good luck. And as Rachel said, you're now homeless. You have a mental illness because it's called depression.
Mhm.
I mean, when life beats you down,
Yes.
I'm hopefully crawling out of my 2-year horrible depression, because when
Yeah.
COVID hit, it also hit me when my dad had stage 4 cancer.
Yeah, COVID
As
hit.
I'm dealing with that, then friends died. Like 8 friends died last year. Like,
I'm
it
sorry.
beat us down. And I had to write in my journal, like, okay, Trump beat me down, the COVID beat me down. So it's my responsibility to get back up. And what they don't know, and we will see what happens with people as we go further. But 2020, my lesson was, don't take a bait. Don't take the bait. Whenever someone's trying to get you into a fight, don't take the bait.
Don't take it.
2021 lesson, mind my own business. If Darren wrote a letter to James and wants me to hand it to him, ain't my business. Darren writes a letter to you, Jeff Hawks, give it to you, ain't my business. Don't read the letter.
We chop liver to
Mind
you
my
now? We
own
chop liver to you now? Is
Mind
that
my
it?
own business. I ain't involved in that letter.
Wow. You gotta do all of us like
Hold
that.
Hold up. 2022, here we go, Mr. Hawks. I don't owe you shit. I don't owe anyone ish. We are done. Like, if you don't like me here, let me grab my stuff and go. And
see, that's why it would be great if I just had a permanent home, preferably on a catamaran, and so that I am a disabled veteran, and whatever small income I have
So
that I
if
live
anybody
on,
has a spare catamaran,
I could help.
not your circus, not your
I
monkeys.
can do
Thank
labor.
you.
I'm very strong. I'm very handy. I am a great ear. I'm sorry to just totally change the subject, but real quick. I was talking, like, I've always thought maybe when I get older, I might foster teenagers or something so that they would know, hey, I realize all this shit happened, but I want to show you that you can still have love fiercely from somebody, even though you've been let down already. And I was talking to this woman, she's a retired teacher, and she's done some fostering, and she goes, what is more important is these kids who've been in the system and they're 18 years old, and then they get kicked out. They have nowhere to go. They have no family. They have nothing. And taking some of those kids under my wing, like, especially if I had a catamaran, I could teach them how to sail. I could show them the world.
Hey, it worked for Nestor.
Yeah, I could do good things. I could, 1 or 2 a year. There's a whole, like, on the catamaran, one side's the master suite, the other side's got 2 bedrooms.
There you go.
It'll be great.
Real quick before I start the fluff, I want to go back to the beginning of the COVID situation in America. Remember the first big story about COVID, the cruise ship?
Yes,
yeah.
yes. So they were left outside San Francisco.
I'm going on a cruise this year.
Well, guess what? It's happened again.
Well,
Overnight in LA, they announced that.
I hate to say it, but there's so many reasons not to go on a cruise ship. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
well, I get my mom's paying for it because I turned 40 this year. But that's crazy to me because I'm looking at the COVID protocol that we're already having to fill out to go in August. Like, it seems like it's gotten really strict because ships are a really easy way to have outbreaks of anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is why being clean on a ship is so important, and people will kick your ass if you aren't.
I think there's a zombie movie where it started on a cruise ship. I can't remember which one, but
The Filth by Grant Morrison. There's actually a cool moment where
There's
they
nothing.
had a cruise ship and they decided how many people could be on the cruise ship to work functionally. Well, what happened is a couple went to the shore, met some old friends, and then brought like 2 of the friends back onto the ship. And that caused everything to go out of control because we could have 100, but 102 threw everything out of whack and everything went crazy. I don't know if you need to read Grant Morrison's The Filth. It's really a lot of ideas and themes.
I will tell since
loving himself.
I did live on a ship for 3 years.
Really?
Yeah, in the Navy.
In the Navy.
So I've done ship life, and I understand it. And part of part of the only reason that I'm gonna go on a cruise is because I do know ship safety and I do know what to do in emergencies, and I do know how to not panic. So I feel like I'm an asset to a ship, and they should frankly just give me money for being there.
Now, in a situation where the boat is sinking and the sharks are circling, that's when you put the fattest person in the life jacket and you throw them overboard so that the sharks will eat and be full, and then the rest of you will survive.
Well, you just
So you're hoping that Chris,
and then
so
all
you're
the
hoping-
women,
So you're hoping Chris Christie is on the boat.
and then
Yes.
all of the women on their periods are the one who gets in the boat in the life raft, because otherwise they're gonna be chumming up the water.
Yeah.
I think
Again, I'm
I
feeling
think-
like
I
feed the
think-
sharks until they can't eat no more, and they'll get in the water.
But honestly,
It doesn't
most
work
sharks
that way.
don't attack people.
And-
It's 1 in 6 million.
I think COVID has taught us one thing: who we can and cannot trust if there's a zombie outbreak. Because
Yeah.
we already know the anti-maskers; they are the same people that will hide the bite mark for the rest of the duration until they turn and take out everybody else. We
Yeah.
all know that. They'll be like, "No, I'm fine. I didn't get bitten."
And meanwhile, we're over here like the real Rick and be like, cut it off, take it off. I'm not turning. I'm not done yet. That would be me.
So anyway, it is now 5:04.
Yay!
Time for the fluff. Time for the fluff. First of
Those
all,
bitch don't like me.
I just
Oh, no,
want
she's
to
interacting
I
with
just
you.
want to put this out
She
there,
likes it. She's
Rachel.
talking to you. Yes, sir.
I just want to put this out there that on the 30th, April 30th, that will be our twice a year trip to the One of a Kind gift show, and we will probably talk about all the different local artists that are there. The Tuesday after that.
What
maybe
is
we
this
can-
one of a kind gift show?
It
that
takes
you
place at
speak
the
of?
Merchandise Mart in Chicago, and you have all sorts of artists and creative type people. Everything from food to skincare, body care, the jewelry to housewares.
All artisan stuff,
all
right?
artists and stuff. All
Okay.
most of them are
Yeah.
local, but there's some from out of state, like
Well, I'm
Pennsylvania.
excited, and I need to make
That's
sure
a
I got my
Saturday,
business
right?
cards ready,
It's a Saturday.
because I feel like
Yeah.
I might be able to get in one of those festivals. I haven't tried to get in any festivals with any of my art, which, by the way, I'm a painter if anyone wants to buy a painting, and I do commissions.
Yeah, there you go.
I did learn in I learned at the School of the Art Institute, one of the most pretentious places in the world. I mean, prestigious.
So to get us started on our little journey to this, the Golden Ticket and I went to brunch after I went from the doctor's to getting our haircut. Oh no, we got our haircut after we went to brunch,
He knows
and
your
we found this
struggle.
wonderful place.
He knows your
It's called Francis's Brunchery.
Brunchery?
It's Brunchery. It's located at 2552 North Clark here in Chicago. You can find them on brunchonclark.com. And one of the things over the years that I have tried to do is find the best chicken and waffles.
Oh,
And
not
there,
in this city.
I was going
Go
to
on.
ask, do they have chicken fried steak for breakfast? That's what I love.
I
do.
didn't see it
That's
on
that.
here, but
They got biscuits.
I thought I had. Yeah, they have biscuits. for
Okay,
free.
phew.
That I thought I had found it at a place here in Chicago, but that was like when we first started this whole thing. But the place, it's one of those places that has all the pinball machines and everything. It's over near Chicago, the Chicago Brown Line stop. Anyway, they stopped making the chicken and waffles, and
Oh,
Why would you do that?
I know, right?
hateful
Honestly, I'm gonna
human
be
beings,
honest.
hateful.
I've never actually eaten chicken and waffles.
Yeah, I haven't either.
There was something about it that, like, I'm very picky when it comes to waffles, especially because I had food poisoning once when I was a kid. So I pretty much just eat Eggos. or something else.
So I found the best.
I will eat them.
The best. That was that.
Emphasis on that.
Yeah.
I will eat them.
Okay, it's $15, and for $15 you get a nice piece of chicken that's battered, fried, and really juicy and nicely seasoned. And on top of that, that's on top of a sweet potato waffle
Ooh, interesting.
Oh, I hate sweet potato. Keep going.
Yeah. Like that.
You
know,
Ooh,
I bet I
knew
could
it.
make sweet potatoes so you would like it.
And it's got a.
cherry
It's,
left. Do you want the regular lemon?
I got us. I got. It comes with a side of nutmeg hot sauce.
Interesting.
Ew.
It was really good,
No.
and then add it to syrup.
No.
Add syrup into the combination.
No.
Oh my god!
This sounds interesting.
It had a nice heat to it. It wasn't too hot. It was
Sometimes I'm not a big fan of like spicy sweet. Like if it's like it's got to be less sweet. That sounds
I
too
put
sweet.
syrup on it because
Yeah, no, that sounds good. Like, and I also am not like just like y'all. I'm not like a huge fan of sweet potatoes because I always think of how they make them for, like Thanksgiving and stuff. But what I like to do is I like to cut it up and make almost like hash browns with some garlic and green onions and just salt and pepper. And of course, I put garlic and onion powder on everything, and like that's really good. Give it a try. I promise, it's super good because then it's savory. It's not sweet.
And then on top of that,
Oh,
they have things like they make their own sausage there. They have maple chicken apple sausage, spicy pork sausage, and jerk turkey sausage.
oh,
For all those of you that don't want red meat, stuff like that. They also have 5 different types of bacon.
Nice.
oh.
They have
Let me see it.
they have a jalapeno. Yeah. There you go.
Are you gonna go here for breakfast, April 30th?
No,
No, I think there's food at the thing to eat,
there's
right?
food thing, yeah.
Damn
I'm
it.
gonna have to bring my big old. Well, actually, no. If I eat too much, then I will fall asleep in the middle of the day. So
Oh,
that's
they
not.
got deli sandwiches? There you go.
yeah. There's one. side
And where
that
is
has
this
deli
on
sandwich.
Clark and what?
What's the intersection? It's 2552 Clark. I'm trying to remember
Yeah.
the intersection.
I don't know.
James.
What's
Wait.
the intersection of that? Was it the Mira?
Of what?
The brunch place?
The brunch place.
It's on Clark and
Or at least like what neighborhood?
it's 2552 North Clark.
2552.
I don't
I know.
Chicago like that.
It's
It
in
is just north of Fullerton.
So is that Ann?
like
No,
Lincoln
Clark.
Lincoln Park.
Lincoln
Ooh,
Park.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
French toast?
probably Lincoln Park.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you see the types of French toast they have? They have brioche French toast with lemon butter, something like that.
But why lemon? I'm not no.
I'm looking at
Well,
the,
they have
the caramel apple got my attention.
But it does sound like honestly, these sound like some really
And they make
interesting,
their own
fun
stuff.
flavors. I
Yeah, I
definitely.
already talked about that.
Caramel apple French toast.
They
you
should
got
do
me.
like a big sampler platter, like where you could have like a bite.
They do have flights. I think they do have a French toast.
Oh, okay,
flight.
good.
They have a bacon flight.
So
They have a sausage
this
flight.
is called bushel on a peck.
That's the name.
No.
That's the name of who provides the
Oh, that's the local market. I see.
local market. Yeah.
It's what is it called again? It's called Francis Brunchery, right?
Yeah. Francis's Brunchery. Yeah.
Francis's.
And where they located at?
2552 Clark. Which is apparently Lincoln Park area.
Yeah, and they also have a mimosa flight that you could try there and things like that. It's really cute. It's the walls are like
Just a
a robin
lot
egg
better.
blue. It's like really light blue. That's really pretty. Shiplap around the walls.
Out
They
my
also
price
sell
range.
their own. They also sell different types of.
You should hit them up with a
jams.
marketing fee after this.
Yeah. They also sell their own jams and hot sauces. They have a variety of hot sauces they sell there as
See, I'm
well.
not a hot sauce fan, but the jam thing, yeah.
Yeah,
French
hit 'em with-
toast, yeah.
Hit them with the
This is
marketing
good,
fee of a free plate of chicken and waffles.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like I said, you want to go there for like breakfast.
That was called something else on there. That it wasn't chicken and waffles. It was called something else.
Yeah, it's a French name. I can't. I thought I could pronounce it.
Le chicken and waffles.
No, it's
Oui, chicken and waffles.
it's called Cluck and Gaufre.
Wait, the cluck?
Cluck and Gaufre. Chicken
Cluck and
waffle.
Gofra.
Gaufre.
Gofra?
Gofra.
Gofra.
I'm not sure
Gaufre.
cluck is French, but keep going.
But
Yeah, I'm fluent in French.
Ja, aber
I had a
Me and Louis is all I know. That's
ich
all
kann
that
Deutsch
covers it.
sprechen. Ich war eine Austauschschülerin in
So
Unterfranken.
And that's not even
Als ich
French.
16
That's,
war.
German.
You need to talk,
Yeah.
you need to, talk to my boyfriend. That
Ja,
says it.
natürlich, der weiß, dass ich Deutsch sprechen kann.
Did you mention the extension part?
Oh, the
Covers the
extension.
sidewalk?
Oh yeah, they have an outdoor area that is covered that you can actually.
Okay, so they kick
Oh,
the
so I could
hose off
take
the
Reese.
street so you can have extra places to munch. Is that what you
So I
telling
could
us?
take-
They're not on
Reese?
the corner telling
Yeah.
us you're not in trouble.
Yeah, I'm sure you can take
Oh.
these outside. Yeah.
Ah,
What happens when they move into the alley? What happens when they move into the
okay,
alley?
I just
You'll-
saw this
you'll get-
really
You'll get
important.
the, you'll get the same
Just-
business you were getting
There's too
before,
many people
Thomas.
talking at once.
I've got a really important
Amsterdam.
question for y'all.
Yes.
I
Y'all?
just saw this. So, can a
Oh.
ghost and a zombie come from the same person?
Yeah.
This person wrote, I'm so amused by the idea of a ghost watching in horror as their zombified body shambles around. Zombie brains, ghost. This is so embarrassing. Please, Phil, get it together. We were a lawyer, for God's sake.
That gets
Sorry.
into it's an existential question in there.
That
Yes.
really is. 'cause
Can you
there's-
haunt
a
your own
zombie.
zombie?
A zombie is and they have different versions of zombies
Right.
in different media. But from what I understand, the zombie is you're not there anymore.
No.
It's a husk just
Yeah.
going around feeding. That's it. It's not even an animal. It's just a inanimate object that will kill and eat you.
Oh, well, they have done some new iteration of like zombie movies. where-
I know. There's
yeah,
different
people
ones,
are
but-
sentient, and I think those are kind of, but no control.
Yeah,
Um,
it's
I've seen a
Yeah.
variety. I think there's really interesting things because I think honestly, if zombies really were to happen, there would still be like you wouldn't actually be undead. Like you wouldn't die and come back like they like to show. And that comes from an old Haitian curse from a voodoo that they used to give people like this poison. And basically, like you just kind of became this mindless thing, and then you would just shuffle around. And so that's what they were originally calling zombies. And I don't remember what the poison or the potion or whatever it was, but probably made them pretty simple.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with what they're saying on that. I think the ghost can be the ghost from the zombie. but
Yeah.
The zombie is not alive anymore.
Man, how much would that suck to be both a ghost and a zombie?
Because technically, as a zombie, to become a zombie, you die, and you die, you're dead.
Yeah.
The only thing that comes back,
And you would have unfinished
only-
business if you're a zombie walking around killing your friends.
only thing that I think honestly has, if you're talking
Business.
occult creatures, the only thing that actually does come back is a vampire. Vampire to me is a living
Mm.
person because they are dead. They have no pulse.
Yeah, but
But-
their soul is still attached.
Their
Yeah.
soul's still attached, but I don't think with zombies that happens.
Soulless.
Because zombies, and I'm going with just like what I know from
Yeah.
the media. I know they try to play around with it, but in my opinion, as
But
they
you're
portray,
Night of the Living
they're
Dead.
just
zombies.
Night of the Living Dead. You're just a shambling
Yeah.
horde.
And those
That's
literally
it.
crawled out of coffins too.
Yeah, and a lot of them did. So
Which was
Well,
weird.
well-
So that wasn't caused by a virus, right?
because they're also just called reanimated corpse. Henceforth, they died. If you believe in any of that, then it's gone. Because I believe once you're dead, it's done. It's over. So whatever happens, you're just reanimated meat walking around looking for a meal.
Well, first of all, Night of the Living Dead. They're coming to get you, Barbara.
That's
Like
all
the
ever.
brother keeps some level of sentience when he becomes a zombie and he goes after Barbara. And I think it's either Night of the Living Dead or Returning to the Living Dead Volume 3 that had some soap opera actress who later like had some acclaim. She appears topless multiple times in the film. I think that's why they made it. But her boyfriend who loved her realized that if he did severe levels of pain of literally like shoving spikes through her skin, that because of the level of pain, she maintained some form of sentience. So the zombies were evolving. And we also have the Dennis Hopper was in it, one of the Night of the Living Dead, not the shopping mall one, but
City of
the City of the Dead, where one of the zombies learned how to use a gun. They watched, they learned, and they used
well,
the
they also
gun.
did that in the
So-
shopping mall. Okay,
the shopping mall
yeah,
one.
they also did that. No, they did it in that one. I think in the
Day of the
Hopper
Dead,
one,
or
the shopping mall one is. I mean, not the shopping, but the new one of the newest one, which is the Dennis Hopper one. They learned to basically remember they couldn't cross water. Well, they figured it out in that one. That was the big move. The shopping mall one was where he did learn to use a gun again. But I think the one you're talking about went way off script because that had nothing to do with George Romero. Remember, George Romero did Night of the Living Dead, Day of the
Dead, which was about being
But after that-
to...
Wait, it was
Remember-
Night, Dawn, and Day.
Dawn.
Okay,
It was
Dawn
like
was
on
the
Dead.
shopping
So-
mall.
But then they did other sequels off of that had nothing to do with it. And I think he's even said, "Nah, I had nothing to do with that."
Oh, okay.
So what?
Because I know the one you're talking about. Yeah, it was like punk 80s, and
What is
nudity.
your
Released in
favorite
93.
iteration of zombies?
Well, there was this movie that was very difficult to watch. Italian movie called Zombie, with spelled with just an I, not an E. That was intense.
Really?
It was very intense.
Like 28 Days Later intense?
Yeah,
Ooh.
they were
Yeah.
on an island, and they were trapped on this island, and they had
Okay.
zombies coming out of the graves. And one of the most infamous scenes in the movie is where one of the zombies breaks through his hand through the door and grabs this woman by the hair, and the wood from the door is sticking out.
Oh.
Yeah, and you get it from there. I can't.
Yeah.
I've seen worse.
Oh.
There was one I watched, I guess like back in 2010, where
Oh,
all
wait,
the
no.
zombies are like, it was comedic, and they like could talk to each other through their heads, like telepathy, but their bodies were just like
Yeah.
wandering around doing like wrecking things, and like trying to find brains to eat. And they're like, "Hey, Marla, let's go to the party later."
I correct myself. I have a favorite zombie movie, but it's not really considered a zombie movie.
I'm
but
like a
if you think
zombie
about
over
it, it's
here
a
right
zombie
now.
movie. It was one of the first films that the people that created Alien did after Alien. It was called Dead and Buried.
I have not seen that one. Keep
Oh
going.
my god. Okay, so Jack Albertson plays a funeral director in this. It was like one of his last roles that he ever had.
And Jack Albertson is
Chico and the Man.
Oh, he's also in the season 5 premiere of Charlie's Angels.
Yep.
Where he's a kinky photographer.
I remember that
and
episode.
the models, they have to work their way down to him, and then he chases them and kills them. And one of the sad things about Charlie's Angels, and it's sad that they did this whole plot, which someone had to point out, like, the man's 80. These girls are early 20s. They should either A, be able to outrun him. Does he have a gun? No. They A, outrun him. B, if it comes to a fight, these women can take him down.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I will definitely hit a senior citizen. I
Like if he
would.
coming to kill you, like no, you can. Like the women can duke, and like Charlie's Angels was a lot about like these women standing up to men, and maybe the 3 angels had to team up to take down a big hunk, but like an 85-year-old feeble man, like push him over, we're good.
Yeah,
Just
no.
run.
I will clothesline him. I don't really care.
So anyway, this movie is about this sheriff in a small coastal village,
Of course,
and he's played by James Valentino.
I don't know that man.
No.
I don't know that man. I don't know
Um,
his wife either.
he accidentally hits somebody, and then he can't find the body, and he goes to the front of his truck, and he finds an arm, and the arm starts moving. And it's like trying to grab him and stuff like that. And he's like, okay, this is freaking me out. So he's trying to investigate what happened here. And during his investigation, he starts finding out that there's these sinister murders that are happening around the village. And
What is this called again?
Dead and Buried.
Dead and Buried.
Mhm.
See, my 3 favorite zombie movies are Shaun of the Dead.
Yes,
was
Shaun of
good.
the Dead's
The one was
amazing.
And to be honest, it shocked me because I watched it thinking it's a comedy. And when I started watching it, I was like, this is getting kind of brutal until the end where that dude's getting ripped apart. I'm like, that is graphic.
But I mean, it is still
Well, it
funny.
was still good. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it's
still
so
good movie.
funny.
Again,
You want to
good
bump
movie.
him in the head just like this.
Yeah.
Ow.
There's that, and I grew up with the George A. Romero. 9/11 it's still a classic.
It's
I
still
like
a
his
classic.
stuff. But I like the redid they did of Dawn of the Dead with Ving Rhames and all that.
Oh yeah, in the
That's
early
still one of my favorite
2004.
one. Yeah. That's one of my favorite redos because I'm like, that got vicious. That was vicious. I loved it because there was a lot of, animalistic terror in that one. I
So,
love
I
it.
think
And-
my two favorite
the
were
last-
I
books.
haven't even
And the
finished.
last,
Oh.
I'll say this real quick. And the last is, of course, Zombieland.
It's
Oh,
a great one.
Zombieland's pretty
Zombieland's
fun.
great.
1
Now-
and 2. Anyway.
Now, my father, funny enough, may he rest in peace, he went to see Night of the Living Dead back when it was released. And so in the early 2000s, I got a DVD player due to some kind of copyright issue. Night of the Living Dead's like public domain. So I got the DVD for like $5, $6. My brother came over, we watched it. My dad refused to come over to watch Night of the Living Dead. And he gave the reason of there's a scene where someone's walking down a hallway and then like an arm just reaches out and grabs him. And it gave my dad nightmares for months. And so he refused to watch Night of the Living Dead, which is a good classic.
Yeah, it's a
for
good one because
Wait, so
horror
you're
movie.
saying it's public domain, meaning I could perform this?
I know Darren's like,
Yeah, no, Darren wasn't finished with his favorites.
Okay, Darren, talk
Yeah.
about your favorite dead meat.
Okay, so to continue the story,
Yes.
because I was
I know.
You were rudely interrupted.
yes. So not only is he trying to find out what's going on, but there's other people, and the other people are mysteriously being killed off. One of which is in a hospital after being burned, and while he's in the hospital, a nurse takes a syringe into his eyes.
No. I don't even know what that sound was I made. That was how
No.
upset I was about putting something in an eyeball.
No,
Yeah.
sharp objects in your eyes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that makes you scream.
Well, it
like
turns
they did
out
in Chucky, and I was like,
it turns out that Jack Alberson, who played the local funeral parlor director, is responsible because he's been bringing back the people in the village to life, and they don't know that they're dead.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, see, they don't know that they're dead, but when they find out, things get a little.
But are their bodies rotting?
No,
Okay.
he's
Yeah.
a funeral parlor person.
I don't know why when you first started describing it, I was thinking of I Know What You Did Last Summer,
Yeah.
only with zombies.
No, Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town. The guy
Oh.
realized the mine was too radioactive, so he was killing off the locals, turning them into zombies, so they would then go down in the mine and then mine. But then the cycle sluts, the female biker gang, showed up, and there's a couple musical numbers. Billy Bob Thornton, Oscar winner, has a screen debut, and Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town, along with Hal Sparks. Isn't that queer as folk?
So,
Oh.
And sorry.
so my favorite line in this movie. This is it had like this weird sense of humor to it. My favorite line in the movie is towards the end. There's a big confrontation scene between the sheriff, played by James Valentino, and Jack Alberson at the funeral parlor. And James Valentino, the sheriff's wife, comes in, and he finds out that his wife has been dead.
Oh.
And she goes, "Honey, let's just come home with me, honey." And he's like, stand back. Come on, honey, I'll make you a good dinner. And then he shoots her a number of times.
Oh, this is a
And-
body snatcher style story. I hate those. They're so frustrating.
So he's shooting her, and then she goes, "I can make us some meatloaf."
Oh, God.
Like right after he's done shooting her, "I can make us some meatloaf."
Like, did
Aw.
he shoot her because she was a bad cook? We have to recognize if this isn't his
So-
shoe.
Was
that
the
was that.
meatloaf the threat? Yeah.
So that was that. I'm running out of time. I want to get on to two other subjects.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
this-
I'm sorry.
this
I
one-
thought this was fluff too.
Yeah, this is fluff, but it kind of got away from where I was
I
going.
am so sorry.
Yeah.
I
So
like this
so
lighting.
second.
My skin look good.
So anyway, the second thing, and Thomas, you might want to put your fingers in your ears for this.
Uh-oh.
It's time for our semi-regular part that we do on the show called Spoiler Sweetie, where we talk about the latest episode of Doctor Who.
Oh. Yeah. No earplugs for me.
Okay. So anyway, this was a special edition episode called
I saw Meadow Pond in a movie recently.
It was. Oh God, I can't believe I'm so off track now that I totally forgot.
I don't know who you trying to
Oh, so
impress. Ain't no
new
doctor.
Doctor Who?
Well, yeah. It was.
What happens when phone
I-
booths no longer exist?
Thomas.
Who's
Hey,
the new
Thomas,
doctor?
Hey,
I can't. I'm getting to the point now where
that woman.
I'm starting to get frustrated.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it was the story. Anyway, I just totally lost.
So,
So
Well, I could tell you what my two favorite.
Oh wait, no, because I need to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Reese is here.
Reese is here. Hi, Reese. So anyway, the story was the doctor goes back to ancient China and meets up with Madame Chang, who is an infamous female pirate from history.
Oh, cool. I need to know more about her.
Yeah. So Madame Chang steals a piece of stone from a statue, and the statue falls apart. It turns out that there's what is called a sea devil in there, and the sea devils are ancient creatures that were used to rule Earth when the Earth was covered in water, but it's no longer covered completely in water, and they want to return the Earth back to being covered in water. So,
I'm with it.
So it's up to the doctor.
So Waterworld, basically.
Yeah, it's up to the doctor, Man Chang, etc., and her group to save the day, and of course they saved the day. But the big story wasn't that; it was the trailer that happened right after it.
Oh.
It's the doctor. It is her final episode. Jodie Whittaker's final episode as a doctor is coming in August. I mean, no, in autumn, and it's an anniversary episode for the BBC because the BBC it's like.
Do they already know who the new doctor is?
No, they're not. They don't say that.
That,
They
and
keep you
that
guessing.
woman.
Oh, have they already cast it?
Probably, but they're not going to say. They keep it secret.
Well, I want to be the new doctor, even though I haven't seen a single one.
So anyway, the surprise is, well, first of all, it's the Doctor and her team versus the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master all together. But the big surprise was who's joining her besides her regular crew. The big surprise is two people who played companions from Doctor Who back in the 70s and 80s are coming back.
Interesting.
Her name is Janet Fielding. You can find her on Twitter as Mouth on Legs, because she's kind of
Oh, yeah.
she's sassy.
Mouth
Anyway.
on legs.
She started with the Tom Baker Doctor as Australian flight attendant Tegan Cervenka. When we first meet her, her aunt is murdered by the Master, and she goes into a police box when she sees her aunt dead, and she doesn't realize that she's in the TARDIS. So that's how
So do the companions also not age the way, or like?
they age. Because
So they're
human.
going to be old people from the 70s. So they've lived through all this time. They didn't bounce
Yeah.
through time. Also.
Well, one of the things that's addressed in the commercial is the other person is named Ace. Ace was a 17-year-old girl who was an explosives expert and science whiz, who ran around in a leather jacket with patches all over and stuff like that. So Ace, it's been 30 years since Ace has seen the Doctor, 40 years since Tegan has seen the Doctor, and you see since then, I don't know what happened to Tegan, but Ace, her name is actually Dorothy McShane. She now owns a company that raises money for global health,
Oh, good. That's a very benevolent work.
and she's a multi-billionaire now.
Well, there's no such thing as a good billionaire, though.
Yeah, but no. She after traveling with the Doctor and after learning
Yeah.
everything from Doctor, she's
Yeah, and is it the company that makes the billions or her?
no,
'Cause,
it's
like if the company's worth billions, that's not
Yeah,
a
it's
bad
worth
thing,
billions,
you know?
but it's all charity. It's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
charity.
That's good.
Yeah, so
Is that like she?
So then they can bring water to everyone in the world pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Or at
so
least piss on them.
so anyway, the one scene that you see with between the two of them talking about how long it's been is the two of them with these massive guns firing next to each other. So it's like kind of cool.
So do the companions are they like predestined, or could it just be anybody who happens to be
Sometimes
Too
it's
close to
predestined.
run away.
Sometimes it's predestined. Like with Ace, Ace kind of stumbled upon the Doctor, but after the Doctor got to know Ace, the Doctor helped her through some of her psychological trauma she had as a child by taking her back to events.
Oh, wow,
She
that
got
would
to-
be super helpful. I would
Like,
love to go back and
she-
fix that stuff.
She got to meet her grandmother and her mother, who was a baby at the time, during the World War.
Was she able to tell her how to raise her properly?
Wait,
Yeah.
it's not food.
I
And
got
then-
a question. Now,
Are you serious?
I get the fact that the TARDIS is like a phone box.
Yeah,
Does that still fit into the
It's-
what we're now? I mean,
no.
okay.
See, originally the
Like they addressed that at least to a degree. Yeah.
they actually addressed it back in the 60s, where the TARDIS had a circuit that could disguise it as anything, but it broke, so it was stuck on being a phone box. But then after it got fixed, the Doctor's like, I kind of like this. Yeah,
Okay, because I always wonder with media, for instance, like
Fashion first.
Superman.
yeah.
Like, there's no phone booth. You're gonna change into Superman.
There
in the phone
was
booth.
there was one episode during the Ace Sylvester McCoy era
Yeah.
where actually it was a 25th anniversary episode, the Silver Nemesis, where the Doctor and Ace land back on Earth, and they landed the TARDIS as a piano.
Okay.
I feel like but the telephone booth is, liable to have people try to step inside it.
Well, that's what happened with Tegan.
So that's why, that's not a good
She-
idea. I mean,
it was-
that was for that
Yeah.
storyline, but they left it. You said they left it as, but that seems like a bad idea. They already knew that could happen.
Yeah.
People could
Well,
just
in the age
wander
of
in.
cellular, though, no one's using phone booths.
Yeah.
True, but homeless people might.
Yeah, but also,
To
can
change
you
it.
can you find a phone booth somewhere?
No, I'm
There was
so
one
mad they
outside
took
of
them out.
Ross.
Like
Costco's
it
a
was
couple
still
years-
it was still.
Oh, yeah.
It
I
was,
think
They still
it's-
have that?
I think it's a real disservice to the public that
It
they
was-
have removed all of the payphones.
yeah, but it would also get attention if you're the only phone booth.
Yeah,
People would just show up
people
and
would
take
just-
pictures
yeah.
of it and stuff, you know?
Well,
That's
you
what I
know,
was gonna say.
I think it was either last year or the year before.
Damn millennials.
The Joy had all the mailboxes taken out of the airports. There are people asking, "Can I mail this postcard somewhere?" I'm like, "Not here, not in the airports."
Really?
Yeah, there's no more post office boxes.
Because when I went to
I
St.
don't like that.
Croix, St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, there were
Oh yeah, there.
mailboxes there.
Well, yeah.
And I sent out postcards. Now, mind you, it took a good 11 weeks before they showed up here, Saints.
Because I think it's a territory and not actual state.
interesting.
They just did it here in America, and it's so that they could waste people's stuff, or TSA could keep it instead of being able to mail it home.
Yeah.
Because used to, if they wouldn't let you fly with something, you could put it in the mail and mail it home. And they had post office there for that purpose.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember it's this month, X amount of years ago, I went to Boston and I was going through the Boston TSA and she pulled out my acne cream. And she's like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "It's acne cream. I have bad skin. I have to put on my acne cream." And she's like, "Well, it's over the 3 ounces, so we have to confiscate it. And anyway, you don't have bad skin."
yeah, because the plane's going to crash because of 3 ounces.
Acne cream. And I said,
Yeah.
"Well, I will now." And she said, "I'm just doing my job." And I'm like, if you had done your job 15 years ago, we would not have had these problems.
Yeah.
So I was delayed. And we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Say it,
Oh,
Mr.
I
Hawk.
can say it.
Say it.
I can just imagine after that you get on the plane. Let's say you still sneaking onto the plane.
I still allowed on the.
You're
like,
still,
I
you still
will
sneaking
now.
into the plane. All of a sudden, the plane starts to go down. You're the guy there. All right, we're going down. For Christ's sakes, who brought out 3 ounces?
Okay, and now it's time for music.
Okay.
So coming
Makes the people
soon,
come together.
special by Lizzo. That comes out
Now she got her own like fat women
July
TV
15th.
shows, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Big girls, is that what that is?
big girls. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because
I know
I've
there's
been
a nicer
seeing,
way to describe it. It's
well, I've
just
been
like
seeing the
fat women TV show.
big girls. I was just trying to remember. I didn't realize it was a show. I just been seeing
Ain't
the
my
hashtag.
fault that I got it.
Yeah,
big
basically
and
what she's
bruised,
doing
gave
is
it up, and
auditioning
now I'm
people
loose,
for
now I'm
her
gonna
backup
taste my
dancers.
juice.
Oh,
But her backup dancers are all sizes, so
good.
Okay.
that's what that's about. Train has a new album coming out called AM Gold.
Was Train ever good?
I don't think so.
Who
is
is Train?
What?
Oddly
is
enough, Train is one of the few rock bands from the 90s that are still here. They have the Drops of Jupiter, where it's basically this horribly depressed woman who works out in high heels and drinks coffee at 3 a.m. and instead of like getting her help, he just exploits her. And then This Is Not a Drive-By because he's looking for a two-ply black.
God,
And then he did this. Their music sucks.
Okay, yeah.
Hey, soul sister,
So
ain't that Mister on the
so
radio?
there's a
Like,
good reason
no
to
soul
lose
sister,
interest.
no
Okay,
Mister
cool.
Mister.
Moving on.
Like you call her Kiri, she backhands you.
One of my favorite titles of an album. I have to keep repeating this every
Okay.
time I see it. It's 12th of June by Lyle Lovett, and it comes out May 13th. I just love the idea that the 12th of June and it comes out.
It's like the Madonna single 4 minutes, but it was released as a 3-minute long single, and I thought that meant she was running out of time.
Yeah.
Lyle Lovett. Does anyone like Lyle Lovett music?
I was just thinking that. Like, I can only remember him from one. I believe it was on a Saturday Night Live, and I watched him play one song, and then I spent all the rest of that time making my popcorn or my nachos as a kid.
Yeah.
When Lyle Lovett was
Did he
singing.
marry Julia Roberts?
Yeah.
Which
And then she left him for. Didn't she leave him for somebody else? Didn't because I think Julia Roberts was with some cameraman or some shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Conspiranoid by Primus.
yeah, you told me about
Yeah.
that last week.
Did
It
I
still,
tell
it
you-
Still had to come out.
I told you when I was in Arcata, California, I met some guy who lived in Sacramento, and he loved his thrash metal band, especially Primus. And when I told him it was pronounced Primus, he's like, "Oh, I've always called it Primus," and I'm like, "That doesn't mean it's right."
Yeah.
And then he still called it Primus, and I just wished him well in life. And stuff.
Well, one of the albums we talked about on Thomas's show was the expanded edition of Older by George Michael. So that has
Faster Love.
Fast
Are
Love.
you just naming off stuff from last week?
No, because because Rachel's here.
Even if
Yeah.
he was like,
That
there's
comes
2
out
more
July 8th.
members. I was not here
Yeah.
last week.
I know we still
Yeah.
yeah. There.
Brian Ferry's EP Love Letters that's coming out.
Why do people like Roxy Music and Brian Ferry? I
I
have
kind of like.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't either. Brian
I've tried.
Ferry.
Love is the drug. Slave to Love.
I'm seeing a thing.
I feel like I do know that, kind of.
Yeah.
You just wish you didn't.
Is it?
I'm
Let me
glad-
put.
I'm glad
I'm
I-
taking
I'm glad
notes
I
of
don't.
things I want to look up after the
I have
show.
to admit, I woke up yesterday and I had that good boy band stuck in my head. And I thought I was singing God Must Have Spent a Little More Time on You by NSYNC. But no, I was singing This I Promise You by NSYNC. And when I played it for Mikey, Mikey said, "Please turn it off."
What was
And
the
then I
name of it?
promised him,
You're,
"This I promise you." And
No.
I
The
will take you in my
is that the same group he's
arms.
talking about?
no.
The Bennett?
He went on a
Where
tangent.
you
Darren, continue.
belong.
Brian May from Queen has a new album coming out. Well, it's a deluxe edition called Another World.
Because
There
the other
is-
members of Queen were as equally talented as Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean,
I guess, but Freddie
Well,
Mercury was a freak of nature with that double
And
loose
isn't
vocal cord
Brian
thing.
May the one that has the degree in science, some kind of science, major science degree? Like
Oh
physics?
yeah, like an astrophysicist or
plus,
something.
yeah.
and plus with Queen, dude, their guitar solos in those songs were phenomenal.
Yeah, he's an
They're good. They're good.
astrophysicist.
I bow down, recognize. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Rock group Skid Row.
AT is
Skid
alive.
Row?
You got it.
I know
AT
Skid
is
Row.
alive at all.
The gang's all
Your
here.
crime is
Yeah,
time, and
and
it's
this reminds me of
18
like
and
last
a
week,
life
man.
to go.
He's just naming off bands from like the 80s, like Def Leppard off the side. Remember that was one there, right?
Yeah. I went past that. Neil Young has a live album coming out.
Def Leppard would have a drummer with
Oh,
his
is it-
arm
is
behind
it-
his back.
Is there a band in here that
I'm going to
might
hell
be,
for that
I don't
one.
know that formed after 2000?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sure.
I just want to make sure.
Oh, you one of the millennials? Are you Generation
No,
Y?
what? Say that again.
Why?
No,
Are you
no,
a
before that.
millennial?
No, you
Are
didn't
you
say it like that.
Generation-
You said something.
Oh, Sean Paul.
Yeah.
Sean Paul has a new album coming out called Scorcha.
Are you the millennial
Is that-
Falcon? Is that what you are?
That's not.
Is it gonna be right? Go star.
He's a rapper, right? Okay.
He like one of those ska reggae rappers that just isn't
Okay.
very
Well, actually,
good.
we got into this discussion too because I also wanted to bring up Pink Floyd.
Yeah,
Actually,
that
had a
song.
new
Oh,
song.
I ain't no matter.
Where they actually, no, this is actually this is actually good. There's a singer in Ukraine. Was it Soldier?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ukrainian soldier who sang. Was it a what was the song? It was something about Ukraine. It was
Yeah, it was a song
I
for
wanna say it was
Ukraine,
a
but
national
Pink
song.
Floyd backed him up on it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Pink Floyd heard it, and they're like, oh, "We're gonna do a whole song, but we want you to reprise it." And he's on it.
And they
Oh,
worked
when-
with
when
him.
was this?
Oh,
A couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Couple weeks, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Is Pink
And
Floyd
they-
still in Germany? Where are they? I thought they were American, but
I honestly,
British.
I think they're British. I think they also did put a concert on where they actually did that song and they did it out in public. And they're actually, I think they had because I think you mentioned they have a new album too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're
We got
probably
something
doing European tours.
But they love this singer, this Ukrainian soldier who sang beautifully. Apparently to them,
Nice.
this like Ukraine. I think it's a Ukrainian song. I don't think it's like a state song. It's not like a patriotic, but it's just like some kind of ballad from Ukraine. He
Yeah.
Uh,
Traditional.
Yeah, it's some kind of traditional like Ukrainian song, and it just touched them to the point where they wrote a song around it, like music, around it to back him up. Because I don't think they
Nice.
wrote new lyrics; they just performed and let him sing.
this is said as politely as possible because I think Roger Waters is the lead singer of Pink Floyd. Don't act like he's a superpowered vocalist. It's one of the-
No,
he's
yeah,
got charisma and attitude, and he
but
works
they
with
write
his
good
songs.
songs. They write good songs.
They write good songs.
Yeah,
Just
that- like
don't act like he
their
Aretha
their
taking the
lyrics,
stage.
their lyrics, and the fact that they have standing power. I mean,
Yeah.
All right. What's our next fluff piece?
There's I think you know Licky Lee, right?
Oh, I like Licky Lee.
I-
She's
I
kind
is
of
the,
like the
EYE.
Swedish. She's the Swedish Adele. Oddly enough, releasing albums to coincide with her birthday, as Adele did. She just didn't name them after her birthday, but she's releasing something.
Yeah, that comes out on May 20th.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Because I really loved her first two albums. I didn't get too much into the ballad heavy third album. And then the fourth album was Swedish trying to do American hip hop, which seemed off.
there's a bunch of live Grateful Dead albums coming out.
I'm just stretching, by the way.
Yeah.
This is what this is.
There's also a bunch
Aren't they dead
of
and aren't they grateful?
there's also a bunch of deluxe editions coming out from Sparks.
Oh, I remember when they came to down and did like a 2-day concert a couple years ago here in Chicago, 2019. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm looking for it because I know Thomas would be interested in it only because he played one of the most depressing songs we ever heard on his show. Gilbert Sullivan has a new album coming out.
You just
Really, after 50 years, he's not alone again naturally. He's
Darren, you just described most of the songs that Thomas puts on it.
Yeah, so that was he had. I think it's out now because I didn't see it, so I guess it must be out now. But yeah, Gilbert Sullivan, back to the process and make us want to commit suicide.
promised myself to treat myself and visit a nearby town, and climbing to the top, I'll throw myself off in an effort to make it clear to who everyone it's like when you're broken, left standing in the lurch at a church with people saying,
I still-
my God, that's rough. She stood them up. No point in us rebating. When we would go home, as I did on my own, alone again, naturally. And that's a happy verse.
I still feel Thomas has missed his calling with his chipper attitude. He could still write for Hallmark and their greeting cards.
I wanted to do like
The
Mother's Day,
anti-Hallmark greeting cards, maybe.
Mother's Day cards that were like, you brought me into this.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
My life is your fault.
So we got about
I blame you.
Hey!
we got about
What?
10 minutes left.
What?
Just in from the CTA. In order to align with state guidance, CTA will no longer be requiring masks on public transit. Those who wish to continue masking are encouraged to do so. Please be kind and courteous to fellow riders as we continue to welcome folks back to CTA.
I rode CTA today and I did wear my mask and I was less bothered by having to wear a mask and other people didn't or yada 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 than I was for having to wait for like 20 minutes for the red line.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like this is an 11
It's-
a.m. Like isn't this like
it's
close to lunch hour? Like what?
It's a CTA. I want a full bodysuit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like want a little towel to lay down so my butt doesn't even touch those seats because I know people have peed on them.
Well, there was one time
I
I
know
took
because they
a,
had those seats that had the nice little cup in it. So, you know.
Yeah, and then their pee sits there and sloshes
Yeah.
around. I've seen that.
there was one time on the Brown line where there was the small little cubicle area of the train and there were feces
Yeah.
and it looked human.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what
like
they,
those
that's
people.
what they call
Like,
irony.
why would you do
The
that?
brown line.
They walk in between the cars. Like in between the cars, can you please just shit on the tracks? Like,
Yeah.
can you please just poo on the tracks?
We have seen someone do that.
I would prefer
like they
that.
just went out in between and just let it slash. And,
All right then. But come on, people are
and then
sitting
there's
here.
The Pussy Tourette song, the Pussy's Boogie, where she's driving with a guy and he's in his pickup truck and she gets so excited that she rolls down the window and just takes down her top and let them flop in the breeze. And I always felt like that was the sweetest way to describe bosom to breasts to
Yeah.
everybody.
Anyway,
Just
anyway.
let them flop in the breeze.
Finally, and Jeff, you will appreciate this. I know you'll appreciate this.
Oh Lord.
That's all it has something
Okay.
to do with.
We all know that there's Wordle, right?
Mhm.
There's
Oh,
also
God. I
I've
remember.
heard of, never played. Keep
Never
going.
heard of it.
Wordle.
I
Never
played.
played it.
I got
Wordle,
you.
Quordle, which is 4 words.
Oh.
Um,
Oh, that's what that is. I thought it was something
Octurtle.
Oh,
else.
they're being witty.
Octurtle, which is 8 words.
Okay.
And then Nerdle, which is mathematic equation.
Is that
No,
separate
that's-
apps? They can't put that all in one app?
Right.
Rude.
I know.
What's the math one called?
Nerdle. Nerdle.
Okay, I just want to
No,
make sure because
'cause-
we already know Florida's going to ban it next week.
Yeah, because it creates
Because you can use the percentages to prove your point.
I am now using those games and my results to troll Lauren Boebert. She will make she will tweet out something which is like totally like, you know, wrong, and then I'll just post my Wordle score on. Come on, I know you can do this. Come on, Lauren.
You know, I have never taken all 5 to solve it. Not once. I haven't done it all that much, but I usually solve it by 3.
Yeah, it's sometimes I think.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. I do have a degree in it though, so
Yeah, I'm good at Wordle. I'm good at Quordle. I'm good at Nerdle. But the Octurtle, that That
How many letters are each one?
You know,
5 letters,
hold up.
same thing.
Does it not sound like he's talking about like a species of alien somewhere?
I just want to know, you from Pittsburgh or Philadelphia?
It's-
Which
it's-
one are you from, Darren?
The Philadelphia area.
Philadelphia. Okay, so he can handle a
Fertile?
four-way
Is that where you're from?
gangbang.
Fertile?
But the
Octurnal.
8-way gangbang too
Philadelphia?
much. You
See,
gotta go
I-
Pittsburgh for that, for the 8-way.
See, I thought Octurnal was the age of Mitch McConnell, but that's fine.
That's nocturnal. They're missing a letter. But
Nocturnal.
you're close.
I
close.
thought he was a wordle. Turtle.
So the best I've done in Octurnal is 7 words. And
Well, that's good. I just like there's only so many 5-letter
That's-
words. It drives me a little crazy.
I have a couple
That's why I don't
five-letter
play it that
words.
much because there's.
But yeah, I post my scores on Laura
Well, you
Weber's
said
tweets.
7 words, right? That's still
8.
that's
But
7
there's
out
still
of 8.
5-letter
okay.
words.
That's still 7 words more than Lauren Burkett knows. So, you got that. Where's she
So-
from? Now, Colorado, right?
Yeah, she's Colorado.
Maybe you should move to Colorado and vote against and
got-
campaign against her. You could win.
Yeah, I think she's going to be the next one where they try to file a lawsuit to prevent her from running.
Good. They should.
I think that
Well,
that might be happening.
They should.
We need to point out that Marjorie Taylor Greene and that Breitbart woman,
Brian
they've I don't know what Congress or elected officials are trying to do. I just know whenever I watch the Senate,
Well-
I shouldn't have flashbacks to Jerry Springer, and at least Jerry Springer had some decorum.
Thank you.
It's
I get the idea of Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's a nutcase and they fall for that whole QAnon thing. Lauren Boebert, on the other hand, she's part of that whole I'm a conservative, look at me. I'm a hot chick. I wear glasses. I got Southern drawl. I carry a gun. Look at me. I'm not Sarah Palin. That's basically what she is.
Yeah, that's
She's-
true.
She's
I
a
have to look
cookie
this up.
cutter of everything Republicans think a woman should be, and they end up voting for it.
Except for blonde. Ah, ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, you're not blonde, Lauren.
Wait, she
Sorry.
tweeted out this. This is something she tweeted out over the weekend. Wait.
it's sad she tweeted it out and no one shot her.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
So her team tweeted something out for her because it's their words, letters.
As time's gone on, these are hypocritical people, and when they die, their family can mourn. It is
Anyway, moving
sad,
on,
and I
what
wish
did
I
she
didn't
tweet
feel
out?
that way,
What
but
did
that's
she
one of the
tweet out?
pluses of
We'll-
Trump.
We'll
When
end it
someone
on.
you hate died,
We'll end it on what this lunatic
rest in
tweeted out.
peace.
Yep.
For
They did this to
Easter,
us.
I'm looking for her
Easter.
Easter. She tweeted out something. Christ has risen on this day,
And
he
hit all
did-
the eggs.
and he didn't have to worry about masks or something like that, something stupid like that.
Yeah, I know. They always want to do some kind of
Jesus,
religious
yeah.
crap on a holiday, but still
Well-
make some kind of fake. Yeah. Trump did it too. Remember, Trump this Easter
Oh, wait,
also
here it
said,
is.
like, "Happy Easter to everyone except for I forget her name, but the attorney went after him in New York." Yeah.
So
I-
so she tweeted out this: Jesus
Reno.
did not comply
Janet
with lockdowns. Happy Easter.
Wait, what did she say?
Jesus did not comply with lockdowns. Happy
Yeah.
Easter.
Okay.
To which I replied, Jesus also didn't show his penis off to some 17-year-olds in a bowling alley. So there's that.
but you because if he did, she'd have married him.
Yep.
Okay.
That-
I've been hearing a good theory lately about Jesus being gay and that John was his partner.
Oh,
Goodness.
it's possible.
I don't even know where to start, but I'm left to recognize, and maybe someone can help me because I wasn't raised with religion. So Jesus was crucified. They threw him in a cave. He rose 3 days later.
He was a human
He's like,
sacrifice.
oh, hey, I'm alive. Look at my hands, doubting Thomas. Where did Jesus go after that? Did he just kind of like,
Oh yeah, then he just.
I
flew
got a
away.
hoe out of the back. Like, let me go.
Didn't he
He got Mary
Didn't he
Magdalene.
train the bunnies to hide the colored eggs for all the good boys and girls?
I mean, I do wonder,
Hence, we
like,
have
oh,
Easter.
he came back to life. I mean, at least in like the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League when Superman came back, he at least did something other than that. Like, hey, I'm here.
The G-
Thomas, I've read the Bible and even I don't understand it.
GOP on Twitter are complaining because the Easter Bunny is a boy. Why is it laying eggs?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that-
Godzilla
Oh my God.
transgender.
On that
Well,
note.
on that note, so I just wanted to remind y'all, Rachel Bloomstrom,
Yeah.
that I am the artistic director and founder of the Quarantine Queens Theater Company, and we do have a play coming on May 1st. It is called The Unkindest Cut. I am playing the lead character, Justin Time, who is a literary noir detective. It's a comedic piece. I think you'll all love it. Right now, you can get early bird tickets for $3.99. So definitely check me out.
$3.99.
That's right. That's
$3.99.
Wow.
it's less than a cup of coffee,
That's
y'all.
a freaking bargain.
That's like
Don't
corner
go Starbucks,
store
get Quarantine
coffee.
Queens some gas.
So you can
$3.99.
support it. You could support our company for just $3.99.
$3.99. We just said $3.99.
Yeah.
Good amount.
Yep. Do it.
So where
Check
It's
us
in a
out.
comic book.
where at?
Well, you can watch us through Facebook or contact us directly, and we stream to YouTube if you want to pay us through PayPal. And so we do an unlisted streaming through YouTube as well. So,
Anything else going on?
I mean, lots of stuff. Yes. Oh, the radio show. I'm going to be starting a radio show sometime in the next 2 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. It should be, it's not all finalized yet, but it should be Fridays at 5:30 p.m. We're also pending a title, but I already know what the format is. It is going to be a more news focused show. So we
Not
will
as
be,
goofy as this.
well, it'll have
You have
one.
competition, Darren.
No, there's no competition. It'll have one focused news story. The first one I'll be opening up with is a series on the male supremacy movement.
It's going to be more serious.
Well, we'll still have fun and laughs,
Yeah.
but it'll be a little more serious.
Yeah.
But we're not competing. We're on different times, and
Yeah.
you're super welcome to come there.
Yeah.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, here.
And
And Thomas, what do
I
you got going
do
on?
Bottoms of the Barrel on Q4 Radio AM 1680, Q4.org every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. This Saturday, April 23rd, we are pre-recorded, but we will be back in the studio for April 30th. Usually Rachel Bloomstrom's a guest, Darren Marshall has been a guest, Jeff Hawks has been a guest, sometimes Golden Ticket's even a guest. It's a current events with a pop varnish aiming low for success. Hello, everybody.
Did you have a show?
Yes.
Success.
Yay. So that's where you can find me. Now, we will find Jeff Hawks working behind the 7-Eleven.
Jeff Hawks, what do you got going on?
I'm basically on your show, his show, and apparently now I'll be on hers eventually.
There you go.
Yeah. I will have some rotating guests based on the topic sometimes. So, like if I'm doing one on like a women's topic, I likely won't have any men. So, but,
I'm basically wanting to get back into open mics. I'm thinking
Yeah.
to come back from their vacation.
Yeah.
Yes, let's talk about
But
that.
also, I'm trying to pressure Darren more and more into getting the whole super fun party show.
Party show,
going.
yeah.
The
That's
The
Darren
best
and I
comedy
used to
show in
host-
Chicago.
oh yeah, I've been wanting to get back into stand up too.
Yeah.
Been
So
thinking about it.
we'll talk. Right now,
I don't know. I've watched too
working
much
on some
Flavor of
things,
Love and want to
personally.
like beat people down.
Yay!
Yeah.
But anyway,
Anyway, that's it for the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Everybody, be careful out there.
Oh wait,
Be nice
we'll
to each
still say hi to
other.
them.
Anti-maskers. Just don't worry about the people that are masked up.
Yeah.
We need some
And,
chlorine in the gene
yeah.
pool.
Just there needs to be a thing of the herd. Anyway, take care.